Yes.
Okay, we're recording.
Oh, we're recording. All right. We are on video too for folks that could not join us in person today. Hi, folks that can't join us or us or watch this in the future.
Well, thank you for coming. Nick and I sort of talked about what to do in terms of facilitating this stuff, and so it makes the most sense to adopt some of the models that we picked up from the CAP experience, or community practice style stuff. Is designed to generate non-hierarchical, collaborative exchange about what we're doing, and to be really organic and authentic from the department about what is happening with 1A at this point. The first session for March 1 is primarily geared on the 1A course outline of record. It will be live in the fall. And today we're going to have some discussion about that to get us into shape with an understanding of how 1A may be different, looking forward to next semester. But also just to have an exchange of ideas about what we all think those differences might be, and how we would address 1A from the standpoint of pedagogy, what the student experience will be like, different. So that's the theme for this session. The March 29th session will be more focused on 1S, and we'll carry over some ideas from this session into that. And then as well, there will be a session April 5th in Belmont. Travel up there, facilitate some exchange.
There's been some shout out on this. I think Indiana may have said it at convocation. We came back in the spring, but just for our own over 90% of the students who started at CR went directly into 1A. So in terms of anticipation of population, you already have them, right? So if you're teaching 1A right now or 1A in the fall, those are your students, right? So if we're trying to think about how much might my classroom change in terms of student presence, a little maybe, but for the most part, not much, right? We already have those students in our classroom, so it's really just how do we allow the redesign of this course to really help partner with our student population and within the great ways that we can support them now that we have this new class coming forward. Anything else you want to?
Yeah, and I think that's a critical piece of information. That really what we're talking about in terms of fall 19, we aren't expecting, we shouldn't expect that there will be some dramatic change in the students that we're seeing in classes. Because we are seeing the students now, so enrollments, placement in 1A.
That's right.
So,
and our success rates in the fall stayed exactly where they were in previous years. So we enrolled significantly more students directly into 1A, not having worked through developmental levels. And our success rates stayed exactly where they were, which is great news in the sense that with a course that we knew we were redesigning, but don't have yet, we can see that certainly it makes more sense for folks to be in 1A. Potentially 1A plus support, right? We want to see those numbers go up, and that support we're hoping is where that can happen. And the design changes that we've made to this course as well. I think the partnership of those two, man, it'd be great to see those numbers in 80s, higher if we can. But to have a huge change in our population and see our completion rates, our success rates, and that would be their completion of that transfer level course rate remain at the same, I think puts us on a really good footing.
Yeah, and so essentially the focus that I was trying to shine a light on is really the course outline itself, since the changing of the student population is, there will be slightly different students maybe that the other 7% is in the fall. We might see them, of course. but really the course outline of record, that's what, we sort of want to throw into that pretty carefully. And I will say that the course outline changes, and I know I'm repeating what we know, but the AB 705 mandate is only part of the picture with the 1A revision. So the 1A revision is really a CID alignment revision as well, because you look at the CID course descriptors for the first year composition sequence. CR has had, I don't know how much CID's evolved and changed over the past 10 years. I don't think that's not but our courses are slightly out of alignment with the second semester stuff with 1B, and we'll be addressing that in the future. But certainly with the 1A, when we looked at that last spring especially, it just sort of jumped off the page for us. Something in terms of what the state of California, especially its articulation between the California Community Colleges and the CSU system, the sort of the descriptor that defines that first semester course was quite a bit different in many ways than our 1A had been. So when we look at this, it's really the population changes, students in the 5 changes are definitely right, part of the picture, but that part of the picture really addresses placement and the lack of relevant sequential stuff. The other part of the picture is the CID changes. It really is the changes that we would have made to the course outline anyway. And in fact, when we talked about this, I checked with Katie Hearn and Cap last winter, and there was some trepidation about doing changes to 1A that were CID driven because the focus was on, okay, we want to make sure that we're really arguing for correct support and so on. So CR, when we did our revision, we really sort of went beyond what folks across the state were doing with their 87.5 changes, and just so.
The question is, that kind of anticipation of projected changes that you think will take place in the future?
Yeah. So so there's revising a course like this is considerable effort on the department's staff and folks that are in the ground floor doing it. We will need to address. We may begin to have those conversations this spring. What we're talking about in the second semester. And this is just all sort of alignment that's not based upon any particular individual's pedagogical orientation in our department. It's really based upon looking at the state, deciding what our department wants collectively, and how we can match up what we do with what the state CID descriptors look like, so that when there's articulation transfer agreements, and just to be fair to students, because most community college students now don't really stay in one community college for their entire they take classes online at different places, they go from one state to the next. There's a lot of moving around within the CCC system itself. So I think addressing that larger context with our course outlines, I think that's part of the issue, not just so much the incoming changes to the population. So that's part of the reason why this discussion is
It does. And forums are great. The last time we had lots of energy as a collaborative group was when we were in that tiny room upstairs in SC 207, which became became both, I think, the passion push and also the content push to help see these changes through in this course outline, because there was such great brainstorming at that meeting. And so we wanted to capture that by doing something that looks less like a forum and gives opportunity for conversation and collaboration and work. And so enter giant notepads or markers.
Awesome. So we're going to do the postering activity to begin with. Get everybody to collaborate, get some stuff visually, graphically on these posters. Specifically, the idea is just to develop a poster, and I think we can do this in partners.
Yeah, we got enough folks. Let's do it.
And so this would be visually to capture the poster that represents your thoughts about the incoming 1A curriculum all throughout the ranking. So this would be thoughts, questions, connections, response to it.
Yeah.
And the poster can graphically run however you want it to run. Wordy, imagey, whatever works
your team, your creative team, there'll be creative team discussions.
Yeah.
You know? So the only thing that we ask is that somehow your poster interfaces with the idea fall 2019 1A at CR. Beyond that, go for it. We have extra copies of the new course outline, plus the awesome thing that Jonathan made, thank you, that is the comparison between the old course outline and the new course outline. So if your team would like any of those resources while you're thinking about what's going to go on your poster, just let us know. We will hook you up. We'll come around with markers. Find a teammate, find a partner, find some space to be. Bring some. I got 2 here, Sean. Maybe? I don't think so. I think I have 2.
Do you need more posters or?
I don't know. Are we gonna need more, Sean? Yeah. We got. Oh no, but I mean we have enough on that. Are they sticky or parent?
I do.
How convenient, like giant post-it notes.
Yeah, I love this.
I've never used these before.
Maybe I'll just kind of take a room shot and then pause it.
Because it's so different. On the ideas that our colleagues put up around the room, so that the posters become a conversational space. And there's more Post-its at the front if you need them. We're almost done, I swear. It's okay.
You have that MLA thing? Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say something.
I'm writing on your poster, but it's not a sticky note, but I think that both talk to each other. That's what resilient, to me, the flexible strategies are a resilient writing process, I guess. Nope, but today I had this little, I can't draw a yoga pose, but that's what came to my mind as like a COR. We need some yogi, downward facing dog, whatever, sun salute is like the new English 1A.
I would like to connect the resilience to our
Do mine today.
I don't have the same strategies facing obstacles.
So they're like, hey, I get this.
Yeah, so I've got an article that I found online, it's written by 2 different authors, but they have the same last name, and it's been published in 3 different places simultaneously. I'm like, God, I don't know, look this up, it's...
That's what I want to do is teach them how to use that.
Yeah.
Because I can't get them to, they can't sit down and just go, okay.
Well, because that's also
Excuse me, can I get a shot of this guy? I'm trying to video everything for people who can't be here.
Pulled a couple questions that we thought might be a natural link to where we are. But if we'd rather just share out a bit first, and then we can always hit those questions if the time comes. If we wanted to share out, we can do that too. What makes sense to the group? What would the group think?
I didn't get a chance to actually look at my post-its. Like, that's my fault.
I haven't looked at mine.
I would be happy to explain some of my post-its if you feel like that's necessary, or...
Well, I guess my question would be, what are we trying to find out? What
Well, do
know?
we
What
want
do
to
we-
like
yeah,
synthesize ideas from this activity for a
Yeah.
couple minutes and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
go
we're
into the
looking for-
discussions? Yeah.
Maybe we're looking for continuities or coherences
Yeah.
to begin with?
Yeah.
Here's some of like what went into the other posters. I looked at one back that I did the other 2 over here, so kind of like
So you'd like to report out about, like, just sort of briefly.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a brief overview
Yeah.
of some of what folks came up with, what one needs to look like. I like that question, what do you mean when you rewrite inquiry? What might that look like in terms of the cost out process?
you all, you
Sure.
wanna go first? Yeah?
So obviously we did the classic Venn diagram design there, comparing the old and new. I think, at least the way that I was thinking about this, is everything that remains behind an old is, it seems as though it's still relevant, and so I'm wondering if these are things that should necessarily have been, I don't know if cast aside is the right word, but at least not incorporated into the new document. So, like for example, there you have MLA, and we put these things in more explicit questions at the bottom too, for what's left behind in old. So for style stuff, because I didn't see MLA explicitly there, I was just wondering if we're supposed to be teaching that anymore, or?
Well, we definitely documentation strategies,
Yes.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But that piece of academic discourse community, right? That other
Focusing.
piece.
Yeah, so MLA specifically, like the change there is that's collected across the state, and the recognition that students who take first-year composition at community colleges are then, they're forking off in various times, right, that have other professional documentation or patterns of organization or styles of discourse or argument, right? And so the way that the California Community College 1A model looks now is that it doesn't look like an MLA research paper driven course. It looks like MLA is one of many documentation styles that an instructor may introduce to students, but the concept is really to like, the main objective is to have students familiar with documentation styles. So, yeah, it's not just limited to one. APA is probably, the APA, like, most of the students, like I just informal, sort of verbal polling indicates that most of my students over the years have gone on to wrestle with the APA. They've not been asked to do much later on, unless they become humanities majors.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the only people who are gonna use
Yeah,
it.
well,
That's right.
here too, it's almost people
So-
are science majors anyway,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
On the ground, though, on the ground floor, the practical application of that isn't that we no longer teach MLA. It's not that as much, but we would teach, if
not
we,
explicit.
if as an instructor, we feel really committed to working with MLA, emphasizing it specifically, sort of tailoring our assignments or the work toward MLA documentation, then we at least need to deliver that within the context of the variety of styles that students would be asked to write.
Okay.
And part of the design of the course is also the design of, we really want to make sure that students are given some flexibility and awareness of multiple genres within the academic communities that they will be operating with, either simultaneously as they take 1A, but over the course of the subsequent semester.
So the research paper per se is no longer a requirement?
The research writing is a requirement
It is
in
a
class,
requirement.
right? But the way that students are asked to synthesize, to locate, and synthesize and integrate research can be varied. If one thinks of the MLA research paper as a particular kind of generic thing, right? That sort of specific product, I know that in my teaching, I drove toward that product for many, many years. That product is no longer the sole focus of the course in terms of the ideal goal that students would be driving for. So that it opens the sort of the lens, the aperture of the lens takes a much wider opening to other kinds of formal writing that students be doing professionally or academically that don't necessarily look like an MLA research paper. But anytime students are engaged in the process of research writing, or synthesizing their reading into their composition, documentation needs to be taught along with that. So it's not that it's been abandoned, it's just.
Not emphasized.
It's evolved.
Yeah. Well, the course is a college composition, and as the CIP descriptor describes, it's an introduction to college reading and writing. So that introduction is meant to serve the college, not the specific domain of English classes that they've sometimes been historically defined as being MLA. That's it.
So one of the questions I put, or not questions, but like one of the comments I put on this poster in particular was that it has pretty much always, and I'm sure will continue to fall on the first year composition teacher to basically teach students how to be students. There's like jokes on the internet about this where like students, like my first year composition teacher is way, way more strident than my, 400 level psychology teacher. Like that guy's taking me kayaking. This person is making me do like an MLA. I have to be here every day and stuff.
So, planner.
Yeah, exactly. So I think my question now is then explicitly, and I might just be being obtuse here and taking in your explanation, am I supposed to teach multiple documentation styles as well as teaching research, as well as teaching students how to like turn in assignments on time, come to class on time, show up to class and stuff? Because I mean, I don't mind. I know APA and I know MLA, but I don't know like Chicago Turabian or CSE. I don't know those at all. So do
You
you need to teach
yeah.
all the
Yeah.
documentation styles, or?
I mean, one of the big moves that, as a reader, I feel is happening between the old course outline of record and the new course outline of record is a recognition that that freshman composition is a class that students are often going to take in their first semester.
Yeah.
Right? Not just because now they're not taking something prior to that in English, but also because, at least within our state, there's a number of incentives, funding and otherwise, to make sure, and then prerequisite-wise, to make sure that 1A is one of the first classes that students interface with. So for all of those reasons, we are likely to see first semester students. First semester students are learning to student everywhere, right? And the research says that the more that a first semester student does not fit into one or more ways of being part of majority society attending college, the higher likelihood they have of not continuing, the more likely they are to feel like an outsider. So one way to think about our role is that we've got to front load all this because we are the place where they then go out. But I might say that another way that we could think about this is that we have the chance to make sure that they keep going because we're the first people they see. And so, yes, we want to help them become someone who can navigate different academic communities well, right? Which might be just different discourses, which might mean different types of documentation style. But it's also, like this poster calls out in the back, really attending to the ways in which our students feel like outsiders and talking about how entering in the academy at all creates a feeling of being an outsider. And that every new discourse in which you navigate, academic or otherwise, starts with the process of feeling like an outsider before you become an insider. And that part of the passport to feeling like an insider is literacy within that discourse, right? So it shifts the frame from, I need to teach you all these things, to let's discover together, where are you going? And then what do you need to know to go there effectively? And how can I help facilitate your own metacognitive process of becoming a participant within that discourse? Because the more my class can do that, the higher likelihood that that student can go to Justine's class and go like, whoa, this class requires different writing and uses different terminology, and like the students do things here differently, but I'll get there, rather than, ooh, different, not me, I'm out, right? Like to me, that's the labor that through which the other things happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of?
It makes sense, but I'm just wondering if all the entry-level classes are gonna do this.
Well,
An entry-level science class,
if our
gonna teach
college
MLA.
equitizes, let us hope so, right? I mean, like,
So, just within the context of AB 705, it's not that all entry-level classes are being asked to change based upon the data and the study that was done, what they do. Because there are entry-level classes in disciplines more than just English and math. But this is specifically targeting English and math as those requirements that students have to, in many cases, had to complete that required that they're below transfer level before they could even become effective as college students in terms of what their math requirement or English requirement, delaying their access. So, the data indicates, this is statewide, level-line research, that was actually keeping them from actually getting access to education. So it's really the choke point is math and English. And that's why the math department has moved to do away with virtually all of its pre-collegiate math courses, with the exception of STEM, because the research is really vague about that. Because there's that one area of developmental or agricultural classes that statistically seems to be, and specifically major area of study, that warrants some extra preparation. For English, the numbers just aren't there. But in terms of all the other access points where students are going into, like a Soc 10 class, or Psych 1, or biology classes, and the bio students do a lot of writing as well. Right? Now, in response to AB 705, those disciplines can provide concurrent support for students if they're doing writing or quantitative reasoning, where students actually need some additional support. So,
And that's already been built as a link between chemistry and mathematics. So chemistry and mathematics, there's now a specific math support class for chemistry, recognizing that we have to make sure that we're working in conjunction with one another.
So my point really is that there was, I think, this traditional way of looking at math and English as the entering gateways for college students. And we really had set up challenging barriers for most of the students, and they were inequitable. The barriers had disproportionate impact as this and so that gateway, which people thought, well, you have to do your math and English requirements, and then you can go on, sort of place this emphasis on, so when biology instructors would say, my students aren't writing well, what's going on in English? Right? It became sort of a red herring or a sleight of hand switch to the assumption being that I don't need to help support my students in their writing and reading in my class, in my discipline, because English is taking care of it.
So that's
Right.
changing.
So what's happening now is that sort of writing across the curriculum that Anya said, sort of looking at and driving at institutionally here for a number of years, really is actually coming to life now in terms of departments that are not English departments thinking about how they can support their students.
And some of that we
Yeah.
see in the manifestation of the Academic Support Center, having writing support across disciplines. But I think part of what Leslie might be asking is about a culture change, right? When you say, so that's happening now, as in like, do other teachers in other disciplines have an understanding that the expectation that they support their students in literacy and writing might be
Yeah,
happening in those
absolutely,
classrooms?
because you're right, it was the old, you pass English 1A, you can pass any class.
Which was
in college,
actually,
which
I don't know that that was
ridiculous.
ever true. I
don't
mean,
know
I
if
think
it
that that
was.
assumption was there for sure.
I think so too, and what I'm saying is, I know math and English are entry level, but they take other courses their
Right.
first year.
That's right.
And so I think any of those courses should be opened up the same way.
Well, they are in the sense that anything that used to have a prerequisite of developmental English can't anymore because they are our students are college level. And so some of that's happening at a curricular level, and then when those changes happen, those discussions happen at curriculum. But culture change is one conversation at a time, right?
Yeah.
So like, yes, we've changed the curriculum, and then our next 5 years is about working one-on-one with faculty, colleagues of ours across disciplines. Like, that's how real change happens, right? We can do the things through the forms and the systems, but the real change happens in those interpersonal moments of communication where we work together and we see our students at the center. So we probably have some of that still to go.
In terms of like curricular specifics, what's happening now at the curricular level beyond math and English is that when courses are getting, now they're removing their prereqs, 50 or 1 or whatever, when the faculty authors of the departments still believe that student success in the course, like some of the sociology courses have really complicated reading and writing science. So what's happening now, because we're not using prereqs, we're actually hearing what Title V required us to do, which is really careful about some prereqs now. Maybe the 705 didn't invent this, but actually it just says, we just need to do a Title V ask. But what's happening with those courses is we're asking the faculty authors to identify in their course description or some special advisory note if and when a student really needs in that course, that they alert the students to that requirement within the documentation of the course itself. Right? So, and then we're working with faculty at the curriculum committee level to, if they feel like they want to develop a support class, sort of push in that direction. So, what we knew, and I'm sure you know this, like what I've known for years and what we know at the curriculum level is that the entire college for decades was just assuming by default that completion of English 150 or English 1A would ensure their success in the academic work they're doing for the discipline. So that is no longer, we're not
That's a
letting that.
relief.
Yeah, it's got, yeah.
Which allows us to be more of the, okay, this is an introduction to college reading and writing. These are, you could be facing many different kinds of challenges.
I'm thinking about when I was doing the prep work for this, for today, how many times, like in my head, and a couple times it even made it into my notes, I thought, this looks like fun. This looks like fun. This looks like fun to teach. And then I had to have that moment of like, if I'm saying that now with this like, oh moment, that's also a recognition that I didn't feel that way with the current 1A. And that's true. I didn't feel like that. I felt it was a labor for all of us. It was a labor for me. It was an incredible labor for my students. That isn't what it should be. And no wonder that students exited either thinking, I'm so glad I never have to take another English course, and or felt like this isn't for me, right? I can't do this, I can't make this. And I look at this new course outline and I'm like, there's so many things we can do. Like, this is gonna be fun. Like, we can have fun while we're in it. So, it's my hope.
I'm gonna say, we've come up against time, and I'm gonna be respectful of people's commitments. We don't really have time left to sort of exchange a discussion about ideas or readings or topics for March 29th. So I want to invite you to email that to me. If you have any specific suggestions about something you might read.
Oh, Microsoft Ink is off. Sorry, here, let me clear this. What I wanted to do is just make this a little bit bigger because I feel like this is not a, how do I?
So we had, as this question, what text might help inform our learning as teachers as we respond? So if you have any specific questions, like some of the discussion we were having in the back really started to verge toward instructional design and pedagogy within 1A in terms of assignment sequencing and supporting students so that they don't just gas out in week 5 and not return. So that might actually be, rather than talking about in the abstract, the course outline, we're talking about what theories about discourse community or teaching, like rhetorical ecologies, those kinds of things. We can get into that, but maybe something more along the lines of nuts and bolts instructional design within the classroom might be something that our department would benefit from. So,
Can I do that, Sean? I want to say, just in talking with my colleagues here, I got some great ideas, just talking about the posters and the ideas that are presented therein. And the fact that we can discuss these pedagogical implications that are changing in our discipline, I think the more we can get together and talk about what we do in class, will have an overall large benefit for our students and our learning community here. Really. Because it's just like, I learned something like, wow, I can do that.
So what if
we have an amazing brain trust here with lots of experience, lots of different styles. So
what if we did like a sharer? Would folks be interested in that for our, like a brainstorm share for our next, like as you're saying, bring readings or bring texts or bring ideas? Would that be a useful?
Sure.
I would love that.
Yeah, I was gonna say along with like nuts and bolts of pedagogy and like how to sequence things so people don't burn out in like week 5 or whatever that point is where people burn out. Another thing, because I know a number of us have been through trainings about this, either in acceleration or reading leadership, is how do you actually deal with effective domain issues, like even in the first few weeks of class, to avoid students just getting scared So I just think that might be really useful to think about how people handle that and some strategies about how, because as students who in the past would have come into a developmental class and had a feeling like, okay, I'm going to get this basic stuff before I go on to more advanced stuff. Now, some of those students may be going, I don't know that I'm ready for 1A. I've been out of school for several years, or I never did well in high school. I'm just not sure, like lab support class or not, that I'm going to be ready. And so I just, think about like how not to scare students off who are feeling particularly anxious on that first class, first day.
And then
What about sort of thinking about our focus would be the first 4 weeks of class?
Yeah,
In
right.
terms of what we do, like assignments.
Do you want first 5, since you had this note about kind of creating nuts and bolts scaffolding towards that no burnout at week 5, so maybe you want to stretch it to 5 weeks? Call that out.
Yeah,
I just wanted, I just wanted to honor that.
Yeah, that was an arbitrary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because maybe you're gonna get it done.
I think
Yeah.
Just wanted to embrace the 5-week
Oh,
burnout.
yeah, if we take
it's
care
not
of
so much the week,
Yeah.
it's the burnout that causes the students.
I usually go.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we really want.
I think
It's week
policy
3.
It's good.
Yeah, it could be
policies
week-
in the
yeah.
syllabus might be part of
Oh,
it.
yeah, so thinking about
That's how
the
we
syllabus,
approve that. That's like,
as a text.
Here's the enormous thing.
this is what you're
I'm
facing.
next semester.
And
Yeah.
So are these, is there any other, like when folks are thinking about, ooh, what should I bring to that next one? Or what should I upload if I can't come? Things, good ideas that connect to the affective domain, nuts and bolts of how to scaffold that first 4 to 5 weeks to avoid burnout, keeping students engaged and motivated, thinking about the syllabus as a text. Anything else? Oh yeah, critical reading strategies.
Yeah.
Critical reading strategies. Because that's sort of,
Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but like we can't even get to
Totally.
the writing until we
Yeah.
spend some time on the
Yeah.
reading early, Critical
Yeah,
reading
those
strategies.
tools, yeah, they're really effective.
And how to utilize them within either a group
Yeah.
or individually so that students have ways to unpack.
And I'm gonna put, can I put readings or texts up here too? Like if there's something that your students read that you think like, ooh, that's such a powerful, or a TED Talk or something that you do in those first 2 weeks that you then pull through your course or you find is really powerful. So texts, videos, resources, anything that you can think of that you're already doing, using, that you love, right? I'm thinking about Adichie's Danger of a Single Story, right?
Sure,
Which will
yeah.
never not be in a classifying ever again, maybe.
Like some of that stuff can come out through postering too.
Yep,
You know,
yeah, but like if
But
there's
if-
things in your,
Yeah.
that you have that can help us share and learn from each other.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And then if there are other suggestions or questions, I think feel free to email concerns or whatever's going on. Yeah.
I have a whole bunch of questions, and I appreciate people's comments and things, but there's things I just don't understand on here, and I thought that was the purpose of being here today. So I'm wondering,
Let's have that be the purpose for next time. Yeah.
Or we can
or we
also,
could- we could like
look at them and email.
Well, yeah, we
let's
can-
just do a fact on
An FAQ? Yeah.
the Canvas site.
Yeah.
What do we mean as a department? What do we mean by this? And then we can,
Yeah, I
a
just
reference.
appreciate knowing, and I had a question about synthesis and just all kinds of stuff I was curious about.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, we can get an FAQ going. I don't know if I can guarantee that the FAQ will happen between now and our next professional sharing together.
Well, we have the posters to sort of develop.
Yeah, but we'll take a photo of the posters, and then we'll have those as an artifact to make sure that we get those questions, and then maybe we'll do question and understanding through our next session, and then develop an FAQ to capture both of those afterwards, which also gives me permission to push off the FAQ.
So maybe
Just at
toward-
some point,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
maybe
let me make a
toward
note.
that end, if, we could open up a discussion thread where people just load questions into that.
Oh, that's a
They
great
don't
idea.
Yeah.
necessarily
That's a
have
great
to
idea.
answer them.
Yeah.
So that, we've done that before we get here to this next session.
Yeah.
And if you could use that discussion thread
now you win the smile of the day. Thank you,
No, that's a
thank
great- that's-
you, yeah, that's a great
that's-
idea.
Then we will be, like,
That's-
we'll really get those questions out, because I'm
Yeah.
sure there's
Yeah.
questions all through the room about, like, what's this gonna look like, where's it gonna go on?
And that's totally consistent with community of practice ethos.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
And then if you took notes, like if you worked on the pre-work on hand, or took notes today or anything like that, and you want to share them out with our group, you could always also just take a photo or scan if you did something handwritten and add that in to the list of files that were attached from today's, so that if folks weren't here, they can see your great ideas and you can hold them on shows out. So, I think we're good.
Awesome.
Thanks
Thanks so
for-
much.
Thank you.